There was once a man who attempted to make YouTube videos. The audio was terrible, the videography was shit, and really they were a bit of a joke. But he stuck at it, got a little bit better enough that he's slightly embarrassed by his original videos. So what's he going to do about it? Play the intro and we'll find out. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Sarcastic Barman and welcome to my channel. Now, as some of you may remember, almost 2 years ago now I started this channel, and one of my first videos was 6 lies and a pint of evolution. Or was it 6 pints and the lies of evolution? I can't actually remember. But lots has changed since then. I've got even worse at audio and video work, so I thought I'd redo the video and correct anything I might have got wrong or add anything else I've learnt new to the video. So let's get on with it.
In the year 2002, in Cobb County, Georgia, there was a sticker that was placed on the inside cover of the biology textbooks. That sticker simply said that these textbooks contain information on evolution. Evolution is a theory, not a fact.
Our survey said...
And you're going to start off your video with one of the stupidest comments we're going to hear for probably the next minute. Now, evolution, yes, it's a theory, but it's a scientific theory. It's backed by the best science has to offer, our best understanding of the evidence presented. It's not like the theory of, I wonder where all the brownies went. You're a fat fucker, did you eat them?
About living organisms, and it should be looked at with an open mind, studied carefully, and critically considered.
Now, I'll agree, evolution and the study of should be studied, basically, but the way you present that sticker, and it's your sort of people that have had that sticker added, makes it sound like it's not a plausible answer and there might be something else. But there isn't evidence for anything else, is there?
Do you know if you were to take the sentiments of that sticker and you were to look at the evidences for evolution?
Did you just air quote evidence? Oh, we can tell how this video is going to go already, can't we? Fuck my life.
With an open mind and you study them carefully and you critically consider them, what you would find is these evidences don't prove evolution at all.
Ah, fuckballs. The last comment was at 1 minute 40. We're now at 3 minutes. Shit, I said about a minute. I was close. But yeah, the evidence does point to evolution, and you'd have to be a complete and utter raving cockwomble to think it doesn't.
Here are 6 supposed evidences for evolution that simply are not good reasons to believe in evolution.
Translation. Here are 6 things that I've picked up on that possibly might actually definitely 100% show that evolution is real, but I'm going to deny it all because I'm a cockwomble.
Number 1, vestigial organs.
Oh, you mean things like your second eyelid, the muscles in your ear, your sinus, your wisdom teeth, the fact you have a tail in the womb and some people still have a little bit on the coccyx. The muscles in your hand can be a bit weird, and obviously from gripping and things like that. So yeah, they work quite well for evolution. Probably not the best thing for you to bring up.
In 1865, a German anatomist named Robert Wiedersheim.
Of course from 1865, because everyone knows that no scientific advancements have happened since 1865, and our understanding of the world hasn't changed at all since then.
Said that he discovered 185 different useless or virtually useless organs in the body.
Yeah, he might have, but it was also over 150 years ago, and our understanding of the human body has changed slightly since then, and some of the things that we might have thought were useless back then we now understand more of, which is quite nice, really. But something like our tail that we grow in the womb and then falls off is a bit useless and there isn't really a point for. The muscles that we have for our second eyelid is a bit pointless as well. Are you getting the sort of idea that once upon a time they were handy, now not so much?
And he said this was evidence of evolution. In fact, the argument goes that if humans evolved, then they would have had at one time organs that an animal would have used in a certain way, but would no longer be used in that way in the human body, and those organs would begin to atrophy and start to be useless.
Well, close, but not quite. Those organs that might have served a purpose once were probably quite handy in natural selection as well. Being able to see better because your eyes can be cleared, being able to hang or balance better because of a good tail, being able to hang for longer because of stronger muscles in your hands were quite key features. But as we transitioned through evolution in other ways, those things became less important and slowly became less of a demand of sexual attraction that I want to pick the mate with the biggest tail or the biggest this or the strongest that. And it became for the ones that had different draws and different attentions required. So close, but no.
The problem with this vestigial organ idea is that there are two reasons it cannot prove evolution. Number one,
now, if vestigial organs were the only evidence that we have for evolution, I might be inclined to agree with you. But they're not, and there are other things that we can look at. You're just trying to cherry pick one little thing on its own to try and prove your point. But you can't do that in science. You have to look at all the evidence presented.
if you did have vestigial organs in your body, that wouldn't prove evolution. You see, evolution has to go from a single-celled organism to a human, and you don't need organs that are decaying and atrophying.
Except atrophying is not really the right sort of word for it, is it? Because you and I both understand that evolution is supposed to have taken place over millions and millions and millions and millions and squillions of years. The way you're changing it sounds like, yes, one day we had this organ, the next day we didn't need it. That organ just slowly died. No, you're just being a lying little cockwomble at this point.
You need evolution to produce new organs. We should find wings that are almost ready to allow organisms to fly that can't yet fly.
You mean something like a flying squirrel? Because they're not really wings, are they? They're only good for gliding. But who knows, in a couple of million years, they could become something like a fucking bat.
We should find new visionary optical connections in living organisms that don't have them.
Now, the first thing, do you think evolution happens overnight? Because the way you point to some of these things make me think you do. It's making me want to beer the amount of stupid I'm having to put up with. But if we take our eyes, we sit on the scale somewhere between this and this. One has terrible eyesight, one has really good eyesight, and we're sort of in the middle because we are partway through evolution of our eyes. But it serves as no amazingly better point to have eyesight as good as an eagle, but at the same time we need something better than a worm.
We should see things adding information, not losing genetic information.
Now, things can be added and things can be lost through evolution. I mean, the way we walk is definitely an add-on from when we were more related to chimpanzees. The size of our brains are definitely different. The fact we've lost fur, bit of a downer if you live in somewhere like Wales where it's butt-shiveringly fucking cold. But for an example, drink. Drink representing our ability to grow fur. Other shit we've learned over the fucking years through evolution. And the mouthful I took was taking out some of the fucking ability to grow hair. But we still picked up a load of other fucking shit, you numpty.
And the second problem with the vestigial organ argument is that 185 list of vestigial organs, it began to dwindle very rapidly. When we started looking more closely into them, and it became 180 and then 175, and then do you know, as we look more into the body, we realize that those vestigial organs were very useful.
You cheeky little cockwomble. That list definitely isn't zero though, is it? Yes, something has changed over the last 150 plus years, but it's not that we have zero vestigial organs. Take the ear, seems you to show it on screen. That doesn't have any use, does it? Our little muscles that used to be able to control the ear and move it to pick up the more direction of the sound, those muscles aren't capable of that anymore, are they? No. Do they serve a purpose? No. Are you a lying cockbag? Yes, you are.
Many of them extremely useful. Number 2.
Hang on. Many of them are extremely useful. Moving on. You're not going to list any of them, mention any of them, or try and say, well, this one that we used to think was a vestigial organ now has some use. We possibly think something like the appendix. We think it might actually have some use. But something like our tailbones that grow in the womb, or people who are born with small coccyx and tailbones and things like that, that's not fucking useful, is it? No. I wonder why you suddenly glazed past that sort of explanation-y bit. Oh yeah, it's because you've got fucking nothing.
The idea of homology. We're told that similarity proves ancient ancestry.
Now, are you going to be clever and mention something like our genetic similarities with chimpanzees, or are you just going to say, oh, this looks the same, so it could be. It's just because it's the same designer. Be a bit weird when some traits that some of these things have, we don't actually have anymore, but we still have the vestigial organs for. Should have probably not put the vestigial organs in. Something like, say, our ears. Yes, our ears. Because we can't move them properly, but animals we're related to in the long, long distant past could. And some have split off in a different way still can. Not a good point for you, is it?
And what I simply mean by that is we're told that because humans have similar physical characteristics to certain animals, that proves that they evolved from animals.
Ah, you're displaying the evolution of man thing in the background there. I wonder if this is going to be, because fossil A looks very similar to fossil B, that it could actually be something then to do with fossil C, which we know is a relation of us, fossil D. To quote Futurama,
as a professor of science, I assure you that we did in fact evolve from filthy monkey men.
I cannot speak for you, sir, but my ancestors were not monkeys. They were orangutans, hard-working, patriotic orangutans.
Dr. Banjo?
In the fur. And I remind you that evolution is merely a theory, like gravity or the shape of the earth.
Hey, Professor, I'm a flying spaghetti monster. You seriously believe I'm descended from some kind of flightless manicotti?
Yes!
Oh, please. A far more logical explanation is the undisprovable science of creaturism. All life was created in its present form 7,000 years ago by a fantastical creature from outer space.
Bunk!
Well, similarity doesn't prove evolution at all. In fact, you could see things that are similar and you would realize that those similarities are often caused by a common designer.
that's a lazy-ass goddamn designer if it is. I mean, lazy enough to have something like the laryngeal nerve, which goes from here, down, round the heart, and back up to here. Which is a bit fucking awkward, but meh, it's okay in people. Fucking pain in the ass if you're a giraffe, though, isn't it? But you know what it's really good in? Fish. Because in fish, it works fine. A common ancestor to us all. Joys.
Suppose there were a supernatural intelligent designer and he created a world where many organisms would need to drink the same water, eat the same kinds of food, walk over the same types of terrain.
Then why didn't he do us just one type of species and just let us eat fucking plants? I mean, it's a bit odd that he designs us so differently, but at the same point, same enough that we can see the similarities. Bit odd, isn't it? And a bit fucking lazy, if you ask me.
What would happen? Well, obviously, he would use similarities, similar structures to accomplish his goals. Similarity doesn't prove common ancestry.
Well, you can have the choice. It either proves similar ancestry because it's traits passed down through generations and evolution and ways that things work, or it's a lazy-ass designer who has to copy stupid, lazy designs that don't 100% work because, do you know what? Evolution doesn't look for the neatest, the tidiest, and the best way for it. It just goes, yeah, that works. That's about it. That's as much input as evolution has. Does it work? Yeah. Does it work? No. You're dead then.
In fact, similarity argues more for a common creator than anything else.
A common creator of evolution. Yeah, it still works. It's like having two people thousands of miles away that come up with the same sort of idea. Just because there's the similarities in the idea doesn't mean that one person made them, does it? No. It just means it's the way that fucking works. Thanks to evolution.
Supposed evidence for evolution number 3, the fossil record. You know what we're told is that you can look into the fossil record and you can find proof that organisms evolved over millions of years.
Well, you definitely find evidence of change over time from the simple fact that the less complex creatures tend to be closer to the bottom of the layers of stratus and things like that. And as you get higher up, they seem to magically become more complex. It's very odd.
Supposedly, we're told that you can find transformational organisms that prove this animal evolved into some other kind of animal. But if you were to take that seriously and you were to go to the fossil record, what you would find is that those transformational fossils are missing on a grand scale.
Except they're not though, really, are they? Are you being a lying cockwomble again? I think you are. You do realise that every fossil we've ever found is a transitional fossil. Every single one. Because they're dead and we're not. And as to quote Futurama once again...
Oh! If your elitist East Coast evolution is real, why has no one found the missing link between modern humans and ancient apes?
We did find it. It's called Homo erectus.
Then you have proven my case, sir. For no one has found the link between apes and this Homo erectus.
Yes, they have. It's called Homo habilis.
Aha! But no one has found the missing link between ape and the so-called Homo habilis.
Yes, they have. It's called Australopithecus africanus.
Oh, I've got you now. Fair enough. But where, then, is the missing link between apes and this Darwinius macilli? Answer me that, Professor.
Oh, okay, granted that one missing link is still missing.
Except to quote that, the Darwinius macilli was the fucking ape.
In fact, evolutionist Mark Ridley stated that no real evolutionist, whether gradualist or punctuationist, uses the fossil record as evidence in favor of the theory of evolution as opposed to special creation.
Oh, wow, an actual newish quote. That one's only 40 years old. And let's be fair, at the time, there was gaps in the fossil record. So that has changed a bit. But let's go on to see the rest of what he says and not cherry pick the information there, shall we? So just what is the evidence that species have evolved? There have traditionally been 3 kinds of evidence, and it is these, not the fossil evidence, that critics should be thinking about. The arguments are from the observed evolution of species, from biogeography, and from the hierarchical structure of taxonomy. So, yes, we have seen things evolve, especially in laboratory conditions. We understand the connection between those ones that we can see nowadays. There's lots. Stop cherry picking, please. I don't like cherry pie.
Now, why would he say that? Well, he would say that because when you look at the fossil record, you see organisms coming into the fossil record fully formed. You see a stage of stasis where they do not change, and then they go out of the fossil record without evolving into anything else.
Are you sure about that? Because something like this might, how shall we say, piss on your parade.
Exactly as the creation model would predict. The fossil record does not prove evolution.
On its own, maybe not, even with all the new fossils we found nowadays, if you want to be really, really picky. Luckily, we don't just have the fossil record, do we? We've had everything you've mentioned before, and then everything you're probably going to mention later on in this video. Dick.
Number 4, the idea of mutations. We're told that mutations prove you could get a certain single-celled organism to mutate over multiplied millions of years and bring about new information on a grand scale that, given enough time, you could get a human being.
Yeah, given enough time, the cells could mutate into practically anything. They'll basically mutate so they're best suited to their environments, and the best predator, the best hunter, the best forager, the best shagger, whatever your fucking pick you want to take. They're going to evolve the best way they can to be the apex sort of predatory sort of thing, or foragery sort of thing. You get the sort of meaning. But some mutations change slightly the way we are, in a way that at first might not seem too advantageous, like a mutation for humans to drink milk, because that is a mutation. Most people used to lose the ability to drink milk in their teens, and it's a mutation that then gave us that to drink milk later on. Or the Trim5 cipher in monkeys, which is a mutation that added more information. Please, please, please don't do what I think you're going to do and say mutations only ever destroy things, because that would make you a raving fucking numpty, wouldn't it?
What's the problem with that line of reasoning? The problem is that mutations don't give us new information.
You okay, Vegeta?
Yes, just an aneurysm out of sheer stupidity.
Wow. Didn't think you were that stupid, Vegeta.
You went there. You really goddamn went there. You're either a fucking useless piece of shit who can't do any research, or you're just a fucking liar. There is no two ways about it at this point. Which one do you want to be? A fucking moron or a fucking liar? Because one of those is not really appreciated in your book of holy holiness, is it? No. So maybe rethink your life choices and rethink your inability to science would be a bonus for you. Now, I think we're going to leave the video there for tonight because fuck my life, this was mind-numbingly stupid. And I can't believe it's the second time I've done this video. Fucking hell. There's more video left as well, which is even worse. I don't know how many points I should... No, that's fucking enough. Fucking knobs. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe down below. If you want me to do more of my old videos, pick a couple out. I'll redo them. Especially if you've noticed any mistakes I've made in them. That'll be quite cool. And I'll quite happily throw my hands up and say, yeah, I fucked up. I just fucked up. If it's spelling mistakes, fuck you all. I'm never rechanging my spelling mistakes. I can't spell for shit and I don't give a toss. But apart from that, don't forget all the other bits. Thank you to my members. Thank you to my Patreons. Thank you for everyone just being here supporting me. I've been the Sarcastic Barman. Good night.